to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the second round of the Scottish Superbikes. We have perfect racing conditions here today. We've also got a huge entry, and these are some of the fastest bikes that we have in Scotland. We are here at the John R. Weir chicane, and this corner for me is what makes Knockhill really unique. With the cars, you can see some air through here. On a bike, it's a real challenge. Dennis, you'll obviously know better than me. We come out of the 90 right of McIntyre's through Butcher's, which is kind of a non-existent corner, really. I'm guessing it's pretty much flat out for you guys, this little sort of right kink.
Yeah, not pretty much flat out. You're driving it hard from Scotsman in towards Butcher's. It's a slight roll as you go into the corner. Then once you're in, you're hard on the throttle again, and you don't want to be any further than the middle of the track, Joe. So if it puts you wide, it makes your corner as you go into this, you're still turning left. Whereas ideally, if you're middle of the circuit, as you get to this point, the bike's upright, it's straight, you're skimming, and basically, as you're coming in, you're tight to this blue and white curb, skimming the red hot dog curb that you like to use in the cars, which obviously launches you up now and again. But we're tight to this, and it's all about the exit as well. You've got to get your line right, you've got to be aiming in the right direction. We've seen people on track days that come into this, they see it for the first time, they think it's a left-hand corner.
I was going to say that, when you get here, you come up the hill, and it's completely blind, obviously, when you're a little lower down, and it looks like it's a left. It looks like a hairpin left. But in fact, if anything, the only real change in direction you make through here, certainly in a car, maybe not so much on a bike, is a right-hander.
Well, no, you're dead right again. As you come through Scotsman, like say, middle of the track, you've got the bike pointing nice and straight. You're aiming for this part here, and then all you're doing is concentrating on the right-hander. There's no left turn involved whatsoever. Maybe angle the bike slightly to the left, but it's not actually a left corner, and you're all concentrating on the right and about getting the exit out of the John R. Weir chicane up towards Clark's. And this is another classic corner again. You can use all the blue and white curb on the exit, and even the green painted stuff right at the very top, which I've seen you use a few times as well.
Race number one for the Scottish Superbikes is almost ready to go, and we have, as ever, an impressive looking grid. Now, yesterday's races were both won by the number one machine, current champion Bruce Burney, who, as ever, is fashionably late. He's not here yet, but I want to speak to the man who put it on pole position yesterday, Donald McFadden. Donald, you had a great qualifying yesterday, pole position, but then it all kind of went a little bit pear-shaped from there.
Yeah, we couldn't get new soft tyres, so we struggled a wee bit with that. So we went slower in the race than we did in qualifying, and normally it's the other way round for me. So
I know how frustrated you were, but then there's not a lot you can really do about it. I mean, what have you got tyre-wise today?
Well, I've put on the harder one I used to begin with yesterday because it's colder, so I'm hoping that'll work. I've got old soft ones for later, so we'll see.
It's great to see you still up the front. Is this season 23 years racing at Knockhill?
Yes, it's the 23rd one. There's plenty of time to go yet.
Plenty left in you.
Hope so.
Good luck, Donald. Let's move back and speak to Alan Davidson here. Alan, I know you like talking to us on the TV. I'm going to say you're a newcomer, and you are, because you haven't raced for so long. It's been years and years and years, but you're back racing again. You're back with the bib on, and it's going really, really well.
Hi, it's going great. Just really played about, feel my feet. The bike's not too bad.
Clubman winner as well, winning ways on your return to racing.
I got a first defend the Clubman's yesterday, 7th, 11th in the Superbike, so I was hoping to get a bit further forward. We'll see.
Got another chance today, good luck, I'll let you go. There we go, this will be a belter of a race as ever. Dennis and Duncan, take us through the starting order.
So, thank you very much, Front Row Joe, and leaving the holding area goes Brian Campbell on his ZX10R, Alan Davidson as well, followed by the returning Sean Gilfillan. Great to see Sean back, Dennis. He is quick and he is back up to pace, and he's not, probably sick fed up of helping brother Greg.
Yeah, for sure. He's been helping his brother Greg, and he's wanting to get himself out there and show Greg how it should be done, hopefully.
So Bruce Burney is on pole position from Torco Patterson on his Suzuki, and Donald McFadden on the flying BMW. Norman Brunton, a fantastic fourth position for Norman Brunton. And Sean Gilfillan and Brian Campbell in 6th place. Let's look further down the grid though, because Derek Butcher's in 14th, Andy Lamond, Scott Robertson, who should almost be racing under Bob Scott Bikes, and Dennis Hobbs Racing. You're helping those two guys out. They've come from track days and they're getting pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure, getting quicker and quicker all the time. They're in 13th place there. We've got Kenny Patterson there on the Car Masters Glasgow bike, and Kenny Patterson, I think that's his best qualifying so far, and I think he's doing his fastest ever lap so far this weekend, Duncan, and let's see if we can get even quicker in the races.
Last row, last place in the grid, Jim Lang. So that's a shocker for us as well. We need to keep our eyes on Jim coming through.
Yeah, I think Jim had a bit of a problem with his rear shock, Duncan, and he wasn't feeling comfortable with the bike, and such has changed it overnight, and he's put a standard shock in the rear of that bike. So he's took the oil unit out and put a standard shock in, and he's hoping that's going to give him a little bit more feel out there and be able to push himself up through the grid.
Race winner at the last meeting to last on the grid. That won't be doing Jim Lang's head any good whatsoever as the riders line up. Now we're going to have to keep our eyes on number 6. He's on the right hand side of the grid with the orange bib on, Alan Davidson, a man who's come from track days and various other things. Extremely quick, extremely talented. And there's your man Richard Hughes.
Yeah, Richard Hughes looking comfortable. Had a few problems with his bike over the course of the weekend, but hopefully he'll be okay for this race, Duncan.
Under starters orders, we're watching for the lights on the Beatson's Bridge at Knockhill Racing Circuit. On come the red lights, and off they go, and it's a cracking launch from Torko Patterson on the YPE Solitaire Suzuki. Absolutely destroys the field on the way down towards St Curves for the first time of asking. Alan Davidson on board as we go past the curb cam there. Then it's number 185 and the 165, that's Andy Bailey. But Torko Patterson, Dennis, what an absolute cracker of a start.
He launched it, got a bit of a front wheel in the air and then brought it back down, managed to keep it under control, almost lost the momentum but kept it going through in towards the top of St Curves. Watch Sean Kilfilm there in third place ahead of Norrie Brunton, so Norrie Brunton getting a good start as well, Duncan.
Yeah, Nitro Norrie just behind Sean Gilfillan, but there comes Torx on his Suzuki. Now we spoke before about Torko Patterson. There is no traction control, there is no launch control, there's nothing like that on that Suzuki. It's all down to Torx's control of the wrist, and he really does get the handle on it. About 180, 190 brake horsepower Big Stuart Young is getting from that Suzuki GSX-R 1000. So there's the end of lap 1. We're on board with Gilfillan as he comes up and over the crest and hill. Just tilt your head a little bit and the camera will look straight there as you go flying past the start finish line.
Yeah, and Roy Houston there as well. He's coming up through the field. They had a bit of a sluggish getaway, Duncan, and Roy Houston would expect to be challenging towards the sharp end. But we've got to remember, this is Sean Gilfillan's first outing this year on the big bike. Work commitments has kept him away, so first outing here at Knockhill, and doing a great job, and running as high as 4 foot up there, right behind Donald McFadden, doing a great job and really impressing him so far.
Alan Davidson on the number 6 Ducati, the big Ducati with the orange bib on. He's just past Brian Campbell at the start of this lap. Davidson comes through, a bit of exit curb there. That Ducati's quick, he's tucked up behind Nitro Norrie, and look at him pull out and go round the outside of Norman Brunton's R1 Yamaha, takes him on the brakes at the hairpin, as does Bruce Burney on Torko Patterson. Burney looks over towards Torx, gives him a little bit of racing room. These guys have been racing forever, it would seem, with each other, and Donald McFadden in the mix as well in third position. But end that lap, it's Patterson who takes the lead back into St Curves.
It was almost like Bruce Burney saying to Torx, I'm here, just you keep leading the way at the moment, because he kind of could have been a little bit more forceful, used a bit more road, kept that momentum going, but he kind of backed out of it. Like you say, it did give him a fair bit of a stare as watch these guys going through in towards the Arnold Clark chicane, and you've got to say they all look fairly comfortable at the front, Duncan. They're all doing fast lap times, but it looks smooth and controlled by all these guys at the sharp end.
Gilfillan's coming in as well. Gilfillan's catching him, and a fairly different line from a few riders there. You can see as they come through that the Arnold Clark chicane. Sorry, Dennis, you can keep it right there. As they come through, their torches all over the second curb. Burney misses the curb out, but as the time we get to the airpin, Donald McFadden trying to go around a place or a space that just was ever decreasing in front of him there.
Yeah, he's also going to the wrong side there. You always got to try and get to the inside as you go to the hairpin. Somebody tries to come down the outside, and you always got to take them wide. But a guy coming up through the field there, keep an eye on him. Roy Houston there, just behind Alan Davidson there, as he head towards the top of St Curve. He had a sluggish getaway. He normally gets a clean start, does Roy, but he's coming through the field there, and he's done probably the fastest lap of the race so far. So keep an eye on Roy Houston.
The Kirkcaldy Kawasaki, we've clocked him. He's right behind the red Ducati of Alan Davidson, just off the back of this bunch. Sean Gilfillan still hanging in well behind Dominic Fadgen, but as we come through that Arnold Clark chicane and up the back straight, Torko Patterson now just starting to put a little bit of a gap in between him and Bruce Burney as we go on board with Alan Davidson. Look at Houston coming in there, charging in towards the apex, and down! Huge high side for Roy Houston. We see that in the background, and here's a replay. Look at the size of that skid mark that come at the back of that tyre, Dennis, and he tried to hang on and gets a right bang in the back of the head there.
Yeah, to be fair, and great camera shots there by the guys, and managing to catch that one. Thankfully, Roy Houston up to his feet, Duncan. We can see that from our commentary position there. But a bit of a high side from there. Hopefully not too much damage, and he'll be back out later on. But he was pushing hard. He had the fastest lap of the race until that point when it went horribly wrong. And we're just watching back there. Torko Patterson still leading the way. Bruce Burney right behind as we go through the Arnold Clark chicane once more. And then we go back towards Norrie Brunton and Brian Campbell there. And you got to say, Norrie Brunton sprays Brian Campbell's bikes and helmets. But Norrie Brunton, first time out this year for Norrie. Very, very impressive him, and he's always been a fast rider, Duncan, hasn't he? But looking nice and comfortable as the yellow flags are out there, and that'll be for Roy Houston, you can see on the inside.
Zoiks, that was an absolute huge high side for Roy Houston there. Thankfully Roy's on his feet, the marshal's nice and safe getting to him there and making sure he's okay. You know when it's a big high side at Clark Corner because you land back on the inside of the actual corner. Look at the marks on the road there. It's like a plane has crashed at Clark's as the Kirkcaldy Kawasaki gets wheeled away by the Knockhill marshals there, and good job by them. But back at the front of the pack back. It is Patterson from Burnley with going round the outside of some days. You just go through.
Yeah, John Burns there, one of the guys out there in the club in class. John Burns doing a good job there, and just getting in the right place at the right time for Bruce Burnley. The other guys to sneak through without getting any hold-ups.
There's Darren Ross, and one of the man who done extremely well at the clubman at the last meeting, number 84 in the green Kawasaki, and a whole horde of orange vests there as well, which is fantastic to see these guys in their first year of racing here in Scotland.
Yeah, for sure. Victor Corrier then, and you've got Andy Lamond as well in the background, the mix with these guys, and the 112 is Stuart Anderson as well. So all these guys there doing a great job, and good to see so many riders out, Duncan. Like you say, makes the sport healthy, makes it good for us guys there. It's Victor Corrier there looking for a way through with the guy ahead there. It's a 1-2-1 machine just ahead of him, Duncan. That's Sam Campbell.
Yeah, Victor Corrier been very, very gentlemanlike. They're not like Victor, I must say. He's normally through there and he doesn't take any prisoners, but it's still the leaders coming through. Leslie's. And I'm still kind of shaking about that Roy Houston high side. That was an absolute massive crash and such a bang on the back of the head, Dennis, but he's got up and walked away from it. Yeah, I'm just trying to watch the guys at the front, Duncan. We've got like the first two guys there. You've got obviously the guy leading with Torkel Patterson and Bruce Burney, and they've got a little bit of a gap before they get to Donald McFadden, and then also again a little bit of a gap before you get to Sean Gilfillan. But these guys are kind of holding station, and Alan Davis in the background doing a good job to try and keep up as best he can, and nothing really changed at the front so far. Here comes Burney up the inside, and he's going to have to hold that back because he was going across the wet patch here. Torkel had the Valentino Rossi leg dangling on the way in, the Carl Crutchlow-esque leg.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So welcome back to Knockhill as we see the bikes flashing past the start-finish podium and back down through Butchers. We have got our newcomers, number 112 going through the Stuart Anderson on his Honda up the back straight in towards Clark, and you can see Victor Corrier has managed to get himself up towards the front on his Ducati now. He's managed to get past these guys. He'll be happy with that when he will be. That's Scott Robertson just coming through at the back there as well as he heads towards the hip. And now here come the leaders. Now Torkel Patterson always seems to get a bad way with the back markers. Will this be Torks' day to get the good end of the back markers? He's passed one as they come in towards the hip, and Burney again thinking about trying to go up the inside, but Torkel's extremely strong on the brakes today, Dennis. Yeah, he's pretty strong on the brakes, but Bruce Burney looking like the first time through, Duncan, the lap previously, he was extremely tight to the white line on the brakes into the hairpin, and then that time through there you could see the damp patch approaching and had to swerve himself around it, so maybe he needs to kind of hold station and try and find another way past Torkel, because it isn't happening for the hairpin so far in this one. That was Jim Kerr that they passed going in towards State Curve there. There's Sean Gilfillan. Oh, there's a rider down in the gravel at the exit of Scotsman there, the bike getting pushed to the side. That was very difficult to get a visual on that, but we'll try and see if anything flashes up on the computer timing screen in the next lap or two. But up the back straight comes Sean Gilfillan, a fine fourth place for this man. He'll be happy with that. He's hanging in and he's very close to the leaders also as they all head towards the hairpin, and there's a whole gaggle of back markers. Burney can see this happening. Torkel's got the leg off the peg. Burney's going up the inside. Torkel dives across the back, and a really good manoeuvre there. He had to do that. He got up the inside of Scott Robertson there in the BMW. Yeah, Scott Robertson on one of the realised BMWs just get himself into the mix of things on the last lap flag there as well, Duncan, as we come up over the start finish line. There's a few other slow riders ahead as well, but Bruce Burney's going to try and find a way past Torkel somewhere on this lap. So down through Leslie as they go in towards Scotsman corner. Burney goes up the inside. Torkel's got a hand in the air. Is there something wrong with Torkel Patterson? There's a hand in the air. Burney takes the lead as they go through Butchers up towards the Arnold Clark chicane. So it's Burney leads, and Donald McFadden's got past Torkel as well. So something must be drastically wrong with that YPE Saltair Suzuki as they go in towards Clark corner. Patterson getting a bad way with the back markers again, and through he comes here. He goes over the end of the curve. That's not going to work. Gilfillan's going to go round the side of Patterson as well. Poor Torkel Patterson gets absolutely done over there at the exit of Clark corner, and it's Burney who leads at the hairpin for the final time of asking. You've got to say that there must be something wrong with Torkel there, because it looked like a nice clean pass by Bruce Burney. He's throttled right off there, and he's miles back off this leading bunch. I made a bit of a mistake out with Clark's, and over the top they go, and then Sean Gilfillan there getting third place across the line, Duncan, and right behind Bruce Burney. So, but
Donald McFadden there at the sharp end, a really good race.
So Bernie wins on the road, an absolute disaster for Torkel Patterson on the last lap. There's something going horribly wrong with the YPE Suzuki there. Stuart Young will be on top of that for the next race, but Bernie steals that one right at the very end, and Sean Gilfillan gets second place. In fact, no, Donald McFadden wins. Dennis, we're getting something on the computer screens there. Jump start, or is it an overtaken?
Apparently a yellow flag down at Scotsman. We kind of missed that on the cameras there, Duncan, and McFadden got the win.
Overtaken for Bruce Bernie under yellow flags.
Donald, congratulations on the win. A strange end to the race there. Talk us through from your point of view what happened.
Well, I was behind Torkels in front, and Brucey and then myself, and we went into McIntyre's, and Brucey passed Torkwell, and apparently there was yellow flags up, but I didn't see them. Saying Torkwell kind of put his hand up, so after the next corner I passed him, and I thought I finished second, but no, Brucey got a 10-second penalty, so I got the win, so a win's a win.
Sean Gilfillan. I tried to say Greg there because he wins so much on the 600, but it's Sean this time, a good solid second place, stepping up from the 600s up onto the Superbike.
Yeah, definitely. I think my brother's had a cold this weekend, so he's letting the side down, so I thought I better step up and get to it.
Now the race, it was a confusing end. You finished third on the road, but Bruce has been given a penalty for overtaking Torkwell under yellow flags. I don't know if you knew that, but it's second place that you ended up with in the end.
Yeah, I think we got mixed in amongst back markers, and I think there was a yellow flag out and they overtook each other, and now I've been gifted second, so I'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. Now the pace at the front is really, really hot as ever. Is there anything you can do pace-wise to try to win it overall on the road?
I think if I can get on the podium again throughout the day, I'll be well chuffed with that.
Superbikes race number 2, ready to go. This is going to be action-packed, similar to the first race, I'm sure. Donald McFadden, there he is. Look at that friendly face. Donald winning the first race of the day. The front row looks a little bit empty, but not to worry. It's so busy that the guys that turned up late have had to park right at the back. We do have Torkel Patterson and Bruce Bernie back there. I want to speak to the number 7 machine, Jim Lang. Jim, it's been a difficult day so far, but you must still be buzzing over the last round at Knockhill when you took your first win here in dominant fashion.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. Strange track conditions, I suppose, with the damp.
Hey, everybody's in the same boat.
I know, that's for sure. But I'll take the win, sure, that's for sure. But I'm not having such a good time this weekend. I've had problems with the suspension and had a wee crash in the last race. But I'll see how we're going in the next one, see if my luck changes, you know.
It's a reasonable grid position though. You can do some damage from here, I'm sure.
I'll try and get a good start. My starts are a bit dodgy sometimes, but I'll try and get a good start and just take it for there, try and hang on to some of these quick guys, you know, that's the plan.
It's a great big grid as well, so impressive. It's grown so much over the last year or two, this championship. You've got the clubman class and obviously the superbike class, but it's great to see the numbers.
Yeah, it's really healthy. The racing scene at Knockhill is really good. A massive grid in the thousands and in the 600s as well. You know, it's good for Scottish motorsport, that's for sure, you know.
Have a good race.
Well, thanks, Joe. Cheers, mate.
No worries. Let's step this way. An unfamiliar face recently to Knockhill. It's Norman Brunton. Norman, you're going to speak to us for a second. I've just introduced you as an unfamiliar face in recent times. I think the last time I saw you was on the 600 Superstock last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago I done.
As long ago as that?
Yeah, just been doing 1 or 2 meetings since I stopped doing the British, and just really enjoying it this weekend. The weather's been good, and finally started to get a little bit quicker each time I've gone out, so hopefully get a good result here.
It's even more impressive that you just turn up every now and again, and you never linger at the back. You're always straight to the sharp end.
Yeah, just a little bit off the front guys, but they're really quick anyway. I'll always struggle to get with them, but top 5 or 6 probably best I could hope for this weekend.
I was just saying to Jim there, it's great to see the numbers in this class over the last couple of years. It's grown so much.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The race in Scotland's really got going again. There was a few years it was quite quiet, but it's really good. Good to see full grids again.
Have a good race.
Thank you.
There we go. Dennis and Duncan will take us through proceedings.
So once again, thank you very much, Joe Tanner down in the pit lane there, keeping us right up in the commentary box here. So Donald McFadden now on pole position for the Superbike race at Knockhill from Bruce Bernie and Torkel Patterson. Keith, Houston and Campbell. Mike the Bike Keith onto the second row of the grid. Great to see Mike Keith back, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And this is the grid, obviously it's the Scottish Championship one, Duncan, so it's based on the qualifying from yesterday, so that's obviously helping a few people out, and maybe it's affecting a few people. Had a good race last time through, so back to the original qualifying positions and we'll see how everyone goes.
Yep, lots and lots of bikes, as Joe Tanner was pointing out on the grid here. A great Superbike field, very strong Superbikes and Clubmen. They've not much in lap times really from the front to the back. It's very close. cars.
Yeah, for sure. And everybody's getting faster and faster. And like you say, the amount of orange vests that we see out there, Duncan, these guys, every weekend we see them getting quicker and quicker, posting personal bests, which is always good to see people making progress.
So, round the hairpin on the warm-up lap, and then they take themselves up towards the grid and get themselves ready. It looks like Dan Jess on the inside of the hairpin there, giving somebody a good old wave on there. We like to see Dan, a man who's been taking photographs of Knockhill, Dennis, since round about the mid-70s, late 70s. So, a good guy to see at Knockhill. We do like Dan Jess. As up on to the grid come the riders. This is where the heart rate starts to build a little bit, doesn't it, Dennis? You're starting to get a little bit nervous. You hope the tyres are warm. You want to get a good launch off the line. You want to make sure you get it into gear properly. You don't want the visor to steam up on the grid. It's all about keeping calm, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to stay relaxed. Obviously, you're nervous before the start of a race, Duncan, but as soon as the visor goes down, you're round to the grid. All you're doing is you're looking at them lights, the adrenaline's pumping, and you're ready to go.
So, green flag at the back, the red flag is off at the front, and we're under the starters' orders. The lights are on the bridge, and away they go. Cracking view down from the start gantry there as they all head down towards St Curbs. Alan Davison, there's Jim Lang up the inside of Davison, but it's not to be for Darren Ross, who did try it. And let's hope that Torko Patterson has got his problems sorted out on that YPE Saltire Suzuki, and let's see if we can get Torx back into the action here as we go on board with Gil Fillon. And that's Norrie Brunton ahead of Gil Fillon, so he's not made the best of starts in this one, Gil Fillon, but in the lead, Torko Patterson through the Arnold Clark chicane, and Houston after that enormous high side in second place.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Roy Houston there, obviously he's okay, he's got the bike fixed, and maybe he's a bang to the head, he's done him a bit of good.
Well, give him a little knock some sense into Roy Houston as we go on board, and Houston's taking the lead at the hairpin. So from lying at the side of the track in the last race, Roy Houston now leads as they come through Taylor's turn. Alan Davidson goes up the inside of Alan Bryce on number 47 there, and Houston and Patterson side by side up the main straight there as we go underneath the bridge. The Suzuki takes the lead back from the Kirkcaldy Kawasaki.
Yeah, for sure, and you've got to be impressed with this by Roy Houston, and he's maybe been told that he's got to pay a little bit of crash damage, so he's trying to repay the favour for the boys at Kirkcaldy Kawasaki there. But Torko Patterson back to the sharp end, Roy Houston there second, Bruce Burney sitting right behind him third as they come up through the Arnold Clark chicane. And then we've got Donald McFadden close in fourth place, but right behind him Mike Keefe, and Mike Keefe not really ventured too much in the first part. I think he had a bit of an off yesterday and took down Alan Bryce as well with him, so I think that's kind of affected those guys in the first race coming through from the back of the field as Sean Gilfillan just goes up the inside one of the other riders there,
Brian Campbell,
towards Clark's.
Yeah, Sean Gilfillan doing Brian Campbell on the entrance to Clark's there. But yeah, it's brilliant to see Roy Houston back on his feet, back at the front, and Nelly from Kirkcaldy Kawasaki. Brian Nelson probably would have had Roy Houston digging his wallet out after that one, and there'd be moths everywhere inside that tent. You're guaranteed for that. But Torko now starting to stretch away at the front, and Bernie will be noticing that. If Roy Houston's not got the pace, he needs to. Oh, Scott Robertson has a bit of a moment at the hairpin there over the apex, Kev.
I'm going to have a word with him about that line. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, a very Graham Duncan-esque line through the hairpin there, but Houston still in second place from Burney. Then Donald McFadden just behind those guys. We've got the Gilfillan group.
Do you notice Roy Houston there, as he was going in towards the chicane, never used any of the entrance curve but all the exit? It's a bit of a strange line from Roy that time. For whether he moves up slightly wide or not, I'm not too sure, but we'll try and keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, Roy does a lot of strange things, so we'll just let him away with that. You can see the Kawasaki wriggling itself round towards the hairpin there. And then we've got Mike Keith, Norrie Brunton and Sean Gilfillan there, back in the big Kawasaki. And Norman Brunton runs a little bit wide. That's going to let Gilfillan get up on the inside, but Gilfillan can't capitalise on that big hole that Norman Brunton left at the apex of the corner there. Just a little bit too committed to the corner himself was number 125, Sean Gilfillan.
Yeah, Sean's pace is good, like you say, past Brian Campbell a lap earlier at Clarkson, has already stretched away from him, close up towards the back of Norrie Brunton and Mike Keefe, so this is going to be a good outing for him this time. For obviously on the podium, second place in the last race, Duncan, he's going to try and get himself back towards the podium. But you've got to remember Mike Keefe there sitting in fourth place, he's a little bit way backward of, big slide there from Sean.
Oh, Gilfillan goes off! Sorry then, that was a shocker. Something went wrong with that in the end, didn't it?
Some of the biggest upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
So, welcome back to Knockhill Racing Circuit. Sean Gilfillan, Dennis, what happened there? It looked like, well, you see him in the gravel, but do you think he got a neutral on the way in the corner?
I'm not sure what happened. We weren't on board and he just kind of went sideways, snaked back, went sideways and then went wide and straight to the gravel really early in towards Clark's. Look at Craig Schiller just behind Darren Ross there and ahead of Andy Belby. Good to see Andy Belby back, and then Richard Hughes right behind. These guys all having a great battle as somebody retires to the pit lane.
Alan Bailey going into the pit lane there, I think, possibly. But yeah, great seeing Craig Schiller on screen, but what a disaster for number 125, Sean Gilfillan. Gilfillan finds maybe a false neutral going in towards Clark, backed it in a little bit, doesn't matter, into the gravel and down he goes, puts a beautiful ZX10 down on its side. But Norman Brunton now ahead of Mike Keith, and they guys were kind of involved in that battle as well as Brian Campbell just off the back of they guys coming through. So up towards the chicane, it's number 65 just going through there. He's followed by Michael Robertson as they both make their way up the back straight. Then
we've got Kenny Patterson right behind on the BMW, and Kenny Patterson his best lap of the weekend there, down at the 55, so he'll be over the moon with that.
Craig Coxby, another one, as Norman Brunton has a little bit of a sideways moment as he goes in through, see it curves through Leslie's. He looks pretty quick here, Norman, but as ever does Mike Keith. Mike Keith looks very, very smooth. He's devilishly, fiendishly quick, Mike Keith. Never looks like he's actually going that fast until you look at the timing screens.
Yeah, for sure. He's doing a good job out there, obviously out on the ZX10. He was the previous guy in a BMW, and he's trying to chase down Donald McFadden ahead of him, but you've still got to be impressed with Roy Houston, and after what happened earlier on there, Roy's still holding it up towards the guys at the sharp end, and he's trying to keep in touch with Bruce Burney, but Torco Patterson's got such a lead, and I'm not even seeing him on the screen, have we?
Well, they've obviously sorted the problem with Torco Patterson's bike and Torco Patterson out, but you can still see the marks at the exit Clark corner where Roy Houston went down, as Alan Davidson on the Ducati passes Brian Campbell, and out the hairpin they split a back mark up the straight. Look at the speed of these bikes. Look at the Kawasaki getting really wound up as it comes up over the crest hill, but that is one super quick Ducati.
You'll be getting wound up if you've got passed by an orange vest.
okay. But that's a quick Ducati. No, you don't normally see them holding their own against the four cylinders there.
No, you could see his bike was starting to close in a little bit, but you've got to remember Alan Davidson, although he's got the orange vest on, he's not new to racing. He used to race previously in a previous life, we could almost say. And then come back and out in a clubman there, but very fast as
that's somebody down there. Is that one of your men?
Yeah, Scott Robertson down the hairpin, not sure what he's doing there. Not find much information on the side of the track anyway.
Poor Scott Robertson puts his BMW down, and the marshals pick that bike up and get away. Don't be fooled by the massive skid marks here. That wasn't Scott, that'd be Kevin Carmichael doing his lunchtime stunt show here at Knockhill, because it's an all-action day if you come up here. But Victor Corriere now on screen coming through the John Irish again as Dennis quickly points that out.
Yeah, and being chased down by Kenny Patterson yet again. And like I say, these guys having a good battle throughout the course of the weekend there, and a few of the guys of the orange vest on right behind them.
Is that Kenny Patterson on the Car Masters of Glasgow's bike there?
That's the one as well. Yeah. Craig Sherlock, Andy Belby, Richard Hughes and Big Graham Duncan as well. And Big Duncan there on a BMW. Might be fooled, it might look like a Kawasaki, but he's on the BMW 1000RR there, chasing down Richard Hughes. And Richard Hughes is having problems with that bike right the way throughout the weekend, Duncan, but doing a great job there, and being on the podium in a clubman class, so excellent stuff for him.
The Kawasaki may be the bike to have, but Big Donkey's tricking his BMW. He's painting it like a Kawasaki, and he's getting on pretty well with it there. We do like Graham Duncan, one of the clubman guys who's extremely quick, as Lee Brooks with a big hand in the air stays out of the way. But look at this up the main straight. Houston and McFadden absolutely flying past the start finish line side by side. but we finally get a little bit of Torquil time.
Yeah, Torquil Patterson then, like you say, he's out at the front on his own at the moment. That might have been Jim Curley, was catching up towards the back of there. And young Jim will be happy, he's going faster than son Matthew now out on the racetrack, so down into the 56s for Jim Curley. He'll be over the moon with his pace, but obviously fast and frantic at the front. And Bruce Burney, I suppose he could be closing in slightly, Duncan, because we've not seen them in the same caption before.
No, Burney in a safe second place. You could see that Donald McFadden has got a bit of Houston issues, guaranteed with that. But Torquil Patterson, great to see him on screen, because whatever happened in that first race, it just seems to have the problem is gone, that's for sure. But Alan Davidson, I am so impressed with this guy. Alright, he's done a lot of track days, he's raced in a previous life, as Dennis says, but to come back and be so quick as he passes the Cushies signs, Cushies of Dunfermline into the hairpin there, Alan Davidson is so smooth and consistent lap times, Den.
Yeah, for sure, he's definitely nice and smooth there. But just looking there, Don McFadden and Roy Houston, that's going to be a battle for the podium, because I've obviously got Torquil and Bruce, so these guys squabbling over third place. And how good would it be to see Roy Houston, after a big crash, get himself back onto the podium? So let's see what he can do. But Don McFadden, very racy this year.
I'm liking the Torquil Patterson, Carl Crutchlow, Valentino Rossi leg dangling going in towards Clark Corner there. But Burney is coming. Burney's definitely coming. It looked like Victor Corelli bottomed out coming in Hislop's there.
There was a little bit of smoke, wasn't there, blown up?
Well, it's a Ducati, so it's possible. As into the hairpin comes Torquil Patterson, charging at the back of him is Bruce Burney. Bruce Burney maybe not the best of speed there, but there you go, checker flag is out. Torquil Patterson takes a very good win, and a huge wheelie from Patterson. He'll be absolutely delighted with that one. He'll be happy as we see him going through the... Oh yeah, yes, Torquil's very, very happy with that, punching the air and a few waves. As we go further back into the field, Darren Ross fighting with Andy Belby as they come through here, and Darren's got the better of Andy Belby. So Andy Belby just pulls a massive wheelie up towards the checker flag, and there we go, Sean Gilfillan. Dennis.
Yeah, Sean obviously assessing the damage there, hoping he can get it repaired, ready for the next one. And I actually thought Torquil was going to knock himself out there when he was punching the air going down the top of Seeker. But a great race, and looking at that, it looks like we're going to get the run through of the running order, Duncan, and let's see if it was Roy Houston that got onto the podium. Yeah,
stand-up wheelies is the norm if you're here at Knockhill, out with the hairpin after a race. But it is Patterson from Burney. Roy Houston does get a podium after a massive high side. He gets himself onto the podium. Donald McFadden, Mike Keith, Norman Brunton, Alan Davidson in 7th, and BC Brian Campbell comes home in 8th place. Take it away, Joe.
And the third place man, in the end it was third, just reminding myself there, mega start.
I got a good start. It makes a difference for the rest of the starts today and crashing. So I was happy with that. Good. Third's good.
Starting to click with the big bike as well. We've seen you on a second season now, isn't it, on the big bike, on and off?
Aye, well, it's sort of getting a setup with it. We've been struggling quite a lot, trying to get a good setup on it, and we're changing loads of things here and there, one bit at a time, and it's slowly coming together, So hopefully from now on we'll have a bit of pace and be able to stick with the front guys.
That was my next question. Can we see a win from you today?
Well, we're here to try. That's what I'm here to do, so I'll push for it, but they are riding well, so we'll see what happens.
Perfect weather conditions as well. Lap times are like British Championship kind of spec lap times that we're seeing today as well. Do you know what you did?
I think I was only just into 52, like low 52, so I need to be doing 51s. We're doing the BSB next weekend as well, so I need to be going a bit quicker. So we'll see what happens. I'll hopefully get into the 51s in the next race.
Well done.
Cheers, thanks very much, Joe.
Cheers. Bruce Burney, the current Superbike champion here in Scotland, second place today. It's good points, and it was a good race as well.
Yeah, it was a good race. As you've seen, got no bad start, but Roy got a belter. Torquil even got a better one. Torquil went away in front, and I just couldn't get past Roy without doing anything crazy, and I didn't want it to happen. I seen Torquil taking off, but I eventually got past Roy, and I started closing him in. So yeah, so I don't know what my times will be, but happy, smiling, good stuff. Great, sunshine shining here in Knockhill, so it's all good.
When Torquil gets everything right and he's happy on the bike and he's happy in where he is, he's unstoppable sometimes. We've seen this a few years ago. He was on a mission there, but you were hanging on, but it was going to be tough to beat him in that conditions.
I think so.
There you go, that's confidence, Bruce. I'm trying to wind you up.
Aye, well, yeah. No, you're no, because he just got, that's just what it is, and no, I think I got the fast lap there. I'm not too sure, but he's first, I'm second. At the end of the day, that's it. So let's get to the next race and see what happens.
Exactly. We'll see a good battle in the next one. Well done, Bruce.
I hope so. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Torquil Patterson back on top in the British Superbikes, Scottish Superbikes. It's good to see you back, and it was one of these machine-like rides that I used to talk about all those years ago. You got your head down at the front and you were gone.
That's all right, Joe. Yeah, it reminds me. Yeah, you used to interview me, and it used to just be go to the front and do my own thing, and that's exactly what I did. I had some issues earlier on today, so no changes to the bike. The bike's great. I'm great. It's just I'm getting my mojo back slowly. Knockhill, I was a bit out of sorts with Knockhill for a couple of years, but I'm getting my mojo back. I'm starting to feel it again. Kind of got the style going, and as you know, as a racer, confidence is everything.
It was kind of when you went away to the Harley Davidsons, wasn't it? And you came back, you couldn't quite click with it as consistently as you could before when you came back to this bike.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it's funny, you didn't ride the circuit for a couple of years, and I always come here with I don't know whether it's Knockhill weather or not. You know, obviously it's lovely today, so everything's just clicking, and I'm just enjoying it and stuff like that. So, and as you know, when you enjoy the racing, it becomes a little bit easier. And you know, I had a couple of moments there, but it was one of these things that just felt right on top of my game. So
it seems like, Toko, I'm not trying to psychoanalyse you here, but when things are right for you, no one can touch you.
Well, that's what I hope. Yeah. No, it's good to think that way. You know, and yesterday the bike was moving about a lot on the old tyres and stuff, and I just loved it. Absolutely loved the bike moving about and sliding about, because you know that you're on the limit and you're riding hard and stuff like that. So same there. We had a nice new tyre in, and the bike just worked absolutely perfectly. Roy passed me in the first lap, and I thought, right, good, he's in the mix. So let's got straight back past him and just head down again and just try to be the metronome that I can be.
I know you get a lot of help, especially with your engines. If you got take a chance, say thanks to a few people.
Yeah, no, it's the usual. Stuart Young of YP, he's been tweaking something. He won't tell me what, but the bike's working good. Saltar Suzuki have helped me out for a good few years now. They're still on board. I've got Darren and Nicky helping me out, mechanicking and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always a team game, these things. So you've got to rely on a lot of people to help you out.
And is it somebody's birthday today as well?
Yeah, and I'd say happy birthday to Zoe. Happy birthday, Zoe. 4 years old today, and she's celebrating it at Knockhill. So what better birthday present do you get than that?
There you go. It's a good birthday present. Well done.
Thanks, Joe.
So as we see the guys on the podium there getting their trophies, looking extremely happy with that one.
Just a few minutes until the final Superbike race of the day leaves the holding bay and heads out on track. Beautiful sunny conditions as ever, and the man who won earlier on, kind of on default, Donald, can we see a win overall on the road here?
You never know.
You never know. A man of few words. These guys are heading out on track. I'm going to hand this to Dennis and Duncan, and they will talk you through it.
Thank you very much, Joe Tanner. Yeah, Duncan Vincent once again joined by Dennis Hobbs as we see the bikes leaving the holding area. It's Superbike time at Knockhill. It's Toko Patterson, Bruce Burney and Roy Houston on the front row of the grid from McFadden, Keith and Brunton. Davidson, Campbell and Bryce, with Lang, Ross and Belby down in 12th place. Darren Ross getting himself up into a fantastic 11th place. Let's see how this one pans out for the guys. Again, great weather conditions as they were saying in the post-race interviews. A few guys got to try and shake themselves up the grid a little bit, and let's hope that like Scott Robertson, who we saw lying at the side of the track in that last one, and Sean Gilfillan also, let's see if they can get better results.
Yeah, it's a big task for the likes of them coming from the back of the grid, especially Sean. You know, he was so fast. We'll see how he gets on.
So as the whole grid comes through there, 26th place for Craig Sherlock, 30th place for Sean Gilfillan and Derek Butcher 31st. Join us after the break.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
6, Alan Davidson, 69, Brian Campbell, and 47, Alan.
So the bikes just lining up on the hill here at Knockhill. Just see them coming past the timekeeper's cabin in the pit entrance. And there's number 1 rolling into spot. It's Bruce Burney. And Bruce will be wanting this so bad. He was catching Toko Patterson in that last race. So here we go, we're under starters orders for the final Superbike race, and the red lights are on. Beautiful sunshine, and away we go. It's another cracking start from that Suzuki. This Saltair Suzuki just blasts away down and absolutely destroys them all into safety cars. Roy Houston into second place. Burney, then Mike Keith up into 4th place. Burney needs to get past Houston quickly, and he does, because he struggled to get past Roy at the start of the second one, but Roy Houston repays the favour. Good cutback, thumbs up from Dennis Hobbs here in the commentary box here as they go over the Arnold Clark chicane. We're back on board with Sean Gilfillan. We're mired in the mid-pack. That's Alan Bailey just ahead of us, and he gets a little bit wide off the start there. But Dennis, talk us through this onboard.
Yeah, just watching Sean Gilfillan off the line there, you can see the speed difference with the guys further down the field, especially somebody that's finished second on the podium this weekend. They're so quick coming through the first few riders, but then really has to slow it down.
Joe Irving springing to mind there, Dennis. Joe Irving was springing to mind there. But we're back in towards St. Curves down, and a big field of bikes here. Andy Belby up the inside of Duncan there, but Graham Duncan holds him off on the brakes. Good stuff, Graham Duncan.
Yeah, and just watching further back on that lot as well, you've got Richard Hughes there in a big battle there with a guy on the number 7 bike, Jim Lang, and Jim obviously getting stronger as the weekend goes on, but having a few problems.
Darren Ross on the number 84 bike. He'll be happy with his weekend so far. Let's see how he gets on in the last Superbike race. And Andy Bailey, I'm getting confused now. Belby trying to get up the inside of Big Donkey, but Graham Duncan is quite fierce. And off goes Richard Hughes. Is he going to hit the tyre wall? Oh, good grief, Dennis Hobbs. How did he not hit the tyre wall there?
I just looked down, and as you shouted, I looked up and I couldn't believe what I was seeing there. Richard Hughes so lucky there, and well, hopefully he keeps it going. As almost rear-ended was Darren Ross there by Big Duncan on the exit of the hairpin, and Big Donkey getting back to the swing of things as well. His lap times are coming down, and he's going quicker and quicker, faster than he's ever gone in a long time. Big Donkey there, and that's going to give him the confidence to push on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, fight with Jim Lang. Graham suffered a bit with arm pump and a weak shoulder as well, and on these bikes, Dennis, you know if you have a weak shoulder you're in trouble straight away. Yeah,
for sure. You know, the fast bikes, you know, up to 200 horsepower, Duncan, you're throwing them round, you know, and you've got to be as fit as you possibly can to keep a hold of these things. As a look back there, Torkel Patterson looking smooth at the front, Bruce Burney at second. Then we've got McFadden there into third place now, ahead of the chasing down Roy Houston.
Still very surprised, and a lot was shaking at Richard Hughes speeding off the road so quickly there.
You can almost see his line through the gravel and across the grass there. Managed to keep it going, but so lucky.
If we were nervous, you can imagine how he feels as Belby goes up the inside of Darren Ross, and that was Jim Lang looking to do the favour as well. But look at Sean Gilfillan absolutely backing that bike in. Beautiful control from Gilfillan out of the corner and up the main straight, and that was I believe that was Alan Bailey that he was going past as they go in there. A beautiful slow-mo off a nice wheelie there as well.
Yeah, for sure. And just looking there, he came from 30th on the grid, Duncan. He's already up to 18th place there, so still got a fair bit of spare people to pass this, Sean, but he could almost get himself into the top 10. And Alan Davidson right in the back of Norrie Brunton and Mike Keefe again once more.
Here comes Alan Davidson onto the back of Norman Brunton as well, that number 6 Ducati. He's been pretty feisty all day, enjoying his first meeting back here at Knockhill. And can he get up another couple of places as we're mid-pack? Victor Corriere, Richard Hughes, who probably just calming himself down after that shaky moment there at Clark.
Yeah, nips himself straight past. The next man on his target there is Kenny Patterson on the Car Masters bike, so let's see how he gets on with that one.
Kenny Patterson moved from Ducati as well, hasn't he? He used to be a Ducati man, but he's got himself a beautiful BMW now.
Yeah, and just watching, I think Big Duncan had a bit of a problem out with the hairpin and give that a bit of an advantage to Jim Lang to slingshot him in towards the top of seat curve. We kind of missed that one, and look at that down the Scotsman corner there. Norrie Brunton so close to the side of Mike Keefe. He thought about having a go in and then had to back out right at the last second, and there's nothing worse. You've been there and done that, Duncan, as you think you're going to make a pass, then all of a sudden you have to back out of it. It's so nervous because you're on the front brake, hard chilling at the corner. It's so easy to tuck the front and go down.
You're loading up the front already to its maximum there, and a little bit more squeeze on the brake can only mean one thing. You might end up in the gravel trap and down with the other riders. Torkel snakes the bike in towards the hairpin, followed by the Carnegie Fuels BMW number 1 of Bruce Burney, reigning champion. And then it's Donald McFadden, and he's got quite a few sponsors which we always name check.
Yeah, Capital Fire Alarms, they're probably the main ones that we say. Just watching the first two there, they're actually stretching away from Donald, and then Donald's got a big gap to Roy Houston behind him. But we've got a big gaggle of riders there. It looks like that's Sean Gilfillan,
right in the middle,
and he's right on the back of the top 10 now, so great right by Sean coming from the back of the field.
So Sean Gilfillan, he's got Graham Duncan, Jim Lang to try and get past, and I'm confident that Sean Gilfillan will get past him as Torx goes up the back straight out of Arnold Clark in towards Clark just now, and that was John Burns that he just dispatched with quite quickly there. But the lead two away at the front, Donald McFadden, he looks pretty safe and secure in that third position right now, and we wait for fourth place Houston, then it's Keith, then it's Norman Brunton, and Alan Davidson again on the back.
Yeah, for sure, these guys all together, but look at that, a big wide line going in towards the hairpin there by Roy Houston. Mike Keefe thinks, I'll have a bit of that.
Very inviting, wasn't it?
Almost side by side there, but Mike Keefe has to back out of it as well as Roy Houston closed the door on the apex, but up over the top, underneath the Beaton's Building Supplies Bridge, into St. Curve once more, and Roy Houston's holding that advantage, but not looking as quick as he was in that previous race, Duncan, so maybe there's a little bit of effects of the crashes, maybe slowing him down. He might be aching in a few places. Norrie Brunton there, nice clean manoeuvre up the inside of Mike Keefe. He lined that one up the lap before, pulled out of it, but this time he thought, no, I'm going through for this one. He's feeling confident. Look at the gap he's pulled on him already, and he's straight onto the back wheel of Roy Hewson there, and Noya Brunton want to try and get through. Maybe he's challenged Don McFadden for the final podium position.
That overtaking manoeuvre just cost Mike Keith a little bit of time there, Norman Brunton, but look at this at the front. Burnley comes past Torkel Patterson on the brakes. It looks to maybe run a little bit wide there. Torkel's going to wind that big GSXR 1000 up on the Knockhill straight here, and will he pass him as they go underneath the bridge there? It's a good overtaking manoeuvre by Burnley as we see Andy Belby going past Brian Campbell. Brian Campbell just getting the hang of his new Kawasaki here. He will not be happy that he's just been passed by his good friend Andy Belby though, and Torkel Patterson did manage to take that position back as they got to see curves. He leads.
Andy Belby there, you got to say first time out here at Knockhill as well this year, and every race he's got stronger and stronger as the weekends progress, and you see that all the time, Duncan. You know, if you've not rode for a while, you've not been somewhere for a short time, you know, it takes a little bit of time to get back up to speed, but it's going to be between Torkel and Bruce, and who's your good money going to be on for this one?
I don't want to put money because I'm guaranteed that it'll go horribly wrong for one of them, but Burnley goes back up the inside and they've got back markers galore in front of them. What's Patterson going to do? He tries to go round the outside, Burnley tries to cut underneath, and thankfully nobody really gets any benefit from that one there, Dennis.
Yeah, Maurice Ray, one of the other guys coming from the track days there on the number 23 bike on another Ducati 1198 there, and he's doing a great job out there, getting quicker and quicker all the time, and obviously making the progress and the step up to the racing, and that's what we like to see. But look at this down the hairpin there, Sean Gilfillan and Jim Lang, then we've got Darren Ross, and then right behind him Big Donkey, so a good battle between all these guys on circuit.
Yeah, here comes Sean Dog up the main straight. Gilfillan tries to get alongside Jim Lang, who pours the front wheel up over the crest of the hill, and it looks like Sean's going to control that position in towards St Curves. Having said that, Jim Lang's pretty brave on the brakes on that BMW. Remember, Jim Lang, race winner in 2013, so he's not a man that's just easy to get past. Unfortunately, he did slide off at Scotsman where we are just now in an earlier race, but he's back on it now as Burnley means business. Look at them coming into the hairpin. We're getting to the important end of the race now. Another couple of orange vests. These two guys will absolutely blast past them up the main straight, and the last lap flag is out. Patterson and Burnley underneath the bridge, passing both the back markers. Will pick up on them. One of them's Jim Kerr in towards St Curves. Torkel Patterson still holds a lead.
Do you see how much Torkel backed it in towards the apex? Obviously maybe he's went a foot so wide into the hairpin, managed to get it back, and it's going to be down to the last lap, last corner between them two, as we see Darren Ross, Graham Duncan all in a big battle, and Andy Bailey on the right, on the back of them as well.
Up the main straight, the last lap flag for these guys as well. The leader should be round about Clark Corner, St Curves, Clark Corner, Arnold Clark, if we're picking them up. But Gilfillan still trying to go past Jim Lang here, and they're fighting tooth and nail as they go in towards Scotsman. But here they come into the hairpin. This is the time of asking. Burnley comes up the inside, Patterson tries to cover it. They'd managed to get through the apex without contact, they avoid it, and Patterson is going to hold on and take a very, very well deserved race win from Bruce Burnley, who tried everything at the end.
He was trying the Graham Duncan elbow bashing line there, using the curves on the inside, wasn't he, that we saw a few years ago there. But a great race by Torkel Patterson, hats off. You know, a good race by him, and obviously over the moon with that one, doing a burnout there at the top of the seat curve for the fans. But look at this, down towards the hairpin, Alan Bailey and then Darren Ross, and they're fighting out further down the field. But ahead of them, looks like Jim Lang just gets that 10th position just ahead of Sean Gilfillan there. So Jim Lang doing a good job there, rounding out the top 10 of the field.
Torkel Patterson doing a burnout. Well, that's something you don't see very often. He's obviously not paying for the tyres this weekend, but he is a happy bunny underneath that RI helmet. And as Bruce Burnley waves to the fans as he comes around Knockhill's famous hairpin, he tried, didn't he? He tried very well, and a big wheelie out the hairpin from Bruce, heading towards the pit lane. So at the end of that race, we see Torkel Patterson winning on the road from Bruce Burnley, and it was a classy win. Torkel, he had a fight taken all the way to him by Bruce Burnley, who was in second place, but it was not to be, right down to the wire at the last corner.
Bruce, a good second place. I can see by the look on your face that you enjoyed it as well. A great battle with Torkel. It was kind of like the old days.
Yeah, totally. It was fantastic, you know. Especially when I got the gap to him and closed it down, and I just sat on him and went, "Yep, we'll have a shot down at the hairpin," you know. And I wasn't it to be, but I enjoyed it.
Donald, a good third place finish to round off the day, but a day that saw you take your win earlier on.
Yeah, I was quite happy. I was like to have been a bit closer and got the mix, but I just didn't have the pace. So, but it was a good day.
The tyre fiasco continues. Bruce as well, suffering as well by being unable to get tyres.
Yeah, well, I used tyres done about 4 races, but it worked all right, so I can't blame my tyres.
Torkel, another great win. As just said to Bruce there, it's like the olden days.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back, battling with Bruce like we did back in the day. Well, we always have. We've battled for years now, and it's getting on a bit. You think we'd have learned better by now, but it's good fun, yeah. It's kind of same plan as the first race, just get a good start, try to get to the front and just try to, I wouldn't say control it, but just stay in front. When you're in front, it's so much easier.
So as we see the Superbike points table, it's Torquil Patterson from Burnley and McFadden. Patterson with a slight lead just now over Bruce Burnley. Keep your eyes on Roy Houston, though he's sure to leapfrog Joe Burns, Mike Keith, Jim Lang and Brian Campbell bringing up 8th place.
Well, that brings today's racing for the Scottish Superbikes to an end, unfortunately, but what racing we have seen. Bruce Burnley dominant yesterday, winning 2 races, and today we saw Torquil Patterson back to his winning ways, and how nice was it to see Donald also taking a win in his 23rd year of racing. Please join us later in the year for plenty more high-speed two-wheeled action.